What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer update video. And don't forget, today's video is sponsored by SofaScore, the world's fastest live football app for all the latest stats. Transfer news is going off at the moment, people, so download the app. Link is in the description below. It's completely free, one of the best apps around. Big up to SofaScore for supporting Curtis Shaw TV. The show is a little bit later than usual today, and I'm a little bit more quiet and more conservative than usual. I had a late night last night, finally had a night out in LA. My opinion of LA is very much changing. When I came here last year, I was like, I don't know, I didn't really get to see it properly. I wasn't sure. LA is going up in my estimation. I had a great night last night. I just want to tell you this story before we get into the transfer news. So we all went out last night, and progressively as the night went on, people went back to the house. And at the end of the night, we went to the club. It was me and Cecil were the last two. So we go to the club. There's a whole heap of paparazzi outside the club. So I'm thinking, I wonder who's in there. Maybe some actor, some actress, maybe a Kardashian's in there. So we tap one of the paparazzi. Who's in the club? He says Kylian Mbappe. I'm like, Kylian Mbappe, okay, probably the best footballer in the world. My son's favourite player. I asked Arteta about him last season. Okay, I kind of really want to get in this club. We're not on the guest list. It's one of them bougie, expensive nightclubs. But we managed to get in, right? We got that good sort of convincing nature from, England, that hustler's mentality, Del Boy settings. So anyway, we get in the club. Mbappe's in the club. No point getting that hyped. You're probably not going to get anywhere near him anyway. He's in the VIP section. So we get in the club. We get right next to the VIP section. And we have a look and we see Mbappe. Okay, that's great. Hold on, he's with a few friends there. Who's that he's sitting with? So he's sitting next to Jude Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Trent Alexander-Arnold. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's going off. Football-wise, it's going off. Obviously, throughout the night, to be fair, Tchouaméni was coming in and out of their section a lot. And I know somebody that knows him, because HD cuts his hair when he comes to London. And he cuts my son's hair quite a lot. So we spoke to Tchouaméni, blah, blah, blah. But Tchouaméni is, we want to see, can we see Mbappe? Can we see any of the others? Mbappe came out. He had a whole heap of security around him. Honestly, you should see the way the security was around him. You can't get near him. But when Jude Bellingham came out, hailed up Jude, I think he honestly was quite surprised to hear the English accent. And he actually spoke to us for about a minute or two, and he was cool. And we took a picture with him, and he was just talking about Real Madrid and stuff. And yeah, big up Jude Bellingham, man, for real. He was very calm, and it was interesting because the security guard was kind of trying to push him away, as if to say, don't stop and take the picture. He was like, no, man, they're from England, blah, blah, blah. And we were saying, we're over here with Arsenal. I should have asked him, why did Edu cancel your deal when he was going to sign for us? Had a brief chat with Trent. And that was that, really. And we had a little chat afterwards with Tchouaméni as well. But listen, Bellingham, obviously, it was good to see him, man. He's become a superstar, hasn't he, at Real Madrid. And he was cool. I know people have said before, he's arrogant and stuff. But the people I know who know him say, listen, very humble. So shout out Jude Bellingham, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, it was good to see Mbappe in the club, man. What a superstar. You should see the way this guy's rolling. Security would jump on your neck back to protect that guy, let me tell you. They weren't playing no games. But yeah, what a night out. LA, I'm starting to see what it's finally about for real. But anyway, let's talk Arsenal. It's funny, innit? A year ago, I said to Mikel Arteta, can we sign Mbappe? A year later, he's in the nightclub. But hey, it is what it is. Great nightclub, great night out. I'm a little bit, trying to recover today, people. Anyway, let's talk transfers. That's the end of story time. Let's talk transfers. Arsenal said to be heading closer to the signing of Mikel Merino. Now, Team News and Tickets, who's usually very accurate, has been pretty good so far, saying that Arsenal are edging closer to getting this deal done. this looks like this will be the second signing that Arsenal get done in this window, and Arsenal are edging ever closer. There is interest from Atletico Madrid as well, and they are aware of that, but it looks like Arsenal have done a lot of the work even since before the Euros, and Arteta has spoken personally to Mikel Merino to bring him to the football club, and it looks as if he wants to come back to the Premier League. Now, Merino for me would be a very good signing. We've spoken about him in great detail. Left-footed player, most duels won in Europe last season, quality on the ball, and he has played in the Premier League before at Newcastle. He's been at Dortmund. He's obviously over there at Real Sociedad. Arteta is supposed to have called him personally to have got this deal done. It's believed they want around 30 million euros for him, and he only earns, I say only, but you know, in Premier League terms, £50,000 a week. Arsenal willing to double his wages to £100,000 a week to get the deal done. I think this one could accelerate. Obviously he's on holiday at the moment because he got to the Euros final, so you know, he's not going to play any part in the tour, for example, or anything like that, but he definitely could maybe join us for the Emirates Cup games, and we get him involved at some stage for those games. So listen, Mikel Merino being linked with a move, that deal looks like it's edging ever closer. It's at a price that is not going to cause Arsenal any major problems, and the wage wouldn't be a major problem for Arsenal either. So we've spoken about him a number of times. Mikel Merino being linked with a move to Arsenal today, and it's said to be edging ever closer. Let's talk about another Spanish midfielder. This one came out of nowhere, and if you've been watching the tour diaries on AFTV, me and Robbie have been arguing about these things every day, but Fabian Ruiz. Duncan Castles announced that Fabian Ruiz is a target for Arsenal. Now, just to put it in perspective, Fabian Ruiz is one of the players of the tournament at the Euros. He doesn't start on a regular basis for PSG. They tend to go with the likes of Vitinha, and they're on the verge of getting a deal completed for João Neves, the highly rated Portuguese midfielder. That's going to be around 70 million. And PSG are said to be willing to let Fabian Ruiz go. He is 28 years of age. He's keen to get first team football somewhere else if it can't be at PSG, and Arsenal are being linked with him. Now, it's coming from Duncan Castles, who is the source. Now, I don't want to discredit the guy at all, but from what I've seen of his tip-offs in the past, not many of them come to fruition. He's a bit of a sensationalist journalist, and he's definitely not like a tier 1 journalist where you believe everything that he says. So for me, I would hold back on your excitement levels for that one. Fabian Ruiz was magnificent. A lot of people actually said he was Spain's best midfielder in the tournament, even though Rodri won player of the tournament. Said that he could be available for around £35 million. He is 28 years of age as well. Super player. Hasn't really been a huge success at PSG. Could Arsenal get hold of him? The thing is, I think Arsenal would only sign one of Merino or Fabian Ruiz. Who do you think is the better player? What player do you think we need more? Merino is a bit more disciplined and defensive and physical. Fabian Ruiz a bit more flair, a bit more creative. I suppose it depends how you see Declan Rice. If you want Declan Rice to be the box-to-box midfielder that maybe scores goals a little bit more and does a bit of everything, then you go for Merino to sit in the 6 role. If you see Declan Rice as a 6 and you want him to sit and protect, then maybe Fabian Ruiz would be the alternative, because Fabian Ruiz is a bit more creative, gets forward a lot more. So which one do you think we should be going for? I personally, it's a tough one, you know. I've always said I like Declan Rice in the 6 role better, which maybe would mean I would go for Fabian Ruiz's creativity. However, I think Merino will be the one that we'll go for. I think Arsenal are quite advanced with this deal, and I don't think they would, turn their back on him at this stage to go and get his Spanish teammate. So I think Merino is still the one that Arsenal will go for. And finally, in today's transfer news, people, again, rumours going around, and I don't think this is going to happen, that Arsenal are still waiting to try and get Nico Williams if Barcelona cannot get the deal over the line. At the moment, Barcelona have already agreed terms with Nico Williams according to reports, but it's a case of whether they can pay the £50 million release clause. Now, the problem that we're hearing, Barcelona can possibly get the 50 million to pay that money, but because of the release clause and how the money has to be paid, they're struggling to get that money up front. They're looking for some Klarna layaway business, where Atletico Bilbao are saying you've got to pay the money. Barcelona are struggling. They haven't sold anybody yet. They haven't really made any money. It's said that Barca may have to sell somebody of significant transfer fee to be able to go and activate that Nico Williams deal. So is there a player there that we can maybe pick up off him? I think we'd love to get Frankie de Jong, but the wages are astronomical. I still expect Nico Williams to end up at Barcelona, if I'm being honest, but he would be a fantastic signing for Arsenal. Obviously, we've got the game tomorrow, Arsenal against Manchester United. We'll be covering that game. We'll have some media access and so on and so forth. And I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, I was moaning about the noise yesterday, but I think you've just got to embrace it now, haven't you? Yeah, listen, we play Manchester United tomorrow. It'll be a bigger game, SoFi Stadium, 70, 80,000 fans there. Be a much better atmosphere and a much more difficult test for Arsenal as they go head-to-head with Manchester United. So will be interesting. Kai Havertz, Gabriel Magalhaes and Gabriel Martinelli have all arrived in America. They will join in with training today. Are they likely to be involved against Man United after one day of training? I'm not sure. I think possibly they'll train for a couple of days, go to Philadelphia with a view to playing a part against Liverpool. Or are they fit enough to maybe go on the bench against Man United and just play a short part in the game? I suppose it depends how much physical training they've been doing by themselves. Interesting as well, Saka is in LA on holiday. Is that a coincidence? Will he turn up at the game just to watch? You would think if he's in LA, he might be at the game tomorrow. I don't think, you know, like some people have said online, he's probably turned up early to train. I don't think he will. The club did announce he would miss the whole tour, and he needs to get that rest. But I wouldn't be surprised if Saka was at the game tomorrow, just to show his support for the boys. So listen, big up to everyone. Don't forget today's video is sponsored by SofaScore. Link in the description. Download it, totally free. Fastest live football app. Big up to them for supporting the channel. And listen, I really appreciate all your support. We're getting good numbers, lots of interaction. Like the video, subscribe. We're nearly at 80k. I think we're a couple hundred away or 400 away or something. So subscribe if you haven't already. We'll have some media access tomorrow. So I'll get the transfer video out early tomorrow ahead of the game content later on. And maybe some of you guys in the comments can give me suggestions to ask Arteta in the press conference. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.